Okay. Good morning, everybody, and welcome. I haven't done a live for a few days, so I'm very excited to be doing this live. And it's with, drumroll, Dr. Sepp from the VIVAMAYR clinic. And Dr. Sepp is fabulous. We've met him a few times during staying safely at home. And for me, he speaks the most common sense about looking after our bodies. He's an incredibly qualified man. VIVAMAYR is internationally world-renowned clinic that deals with many, body issues, but is a specialist too in really healthy gut and looking after your body. And, many people go there for different medical reasons and to get checkups and to just want the people who want to lead the best, healthiest life. So he's a man close to my heart. And one day I really hope to go to VIVAMAYR and experience it myself, but I haven't had the time yet. It's my dream to go there. And any friends of mine who've been there have come back, and they are very healthy people. And it's not faddish. It's just based in incredibly good, well-researched medicine. So we've got lots of questions already. And Hannah, say hello, Hannah.
Hello.
Hannah is on the phone too, and she's going to read out some of your questions as well. So thank you very much, darling. Limpy makeup, yes, I love joining the Australian Trinny tribe. It was amazing. They reached 2,000 followers. Lila got good results, so it's all very good. I'm wearing today, just so in case we don't want to detract from the main event, I'm wearing a Saks Potts top from Scandinavia, and I'm wearing a little Zara, little thin scarf thing. But are we ready then? Drum roll, drum roll. Let me just say hello to a few people whilst we're building up, because a lot of people joining. Good morning, Belinda and Supergirl and Victoria and Bronte Gypsy and Angel and Vimiga and Mara and Rachel and Izzy and Lorna and Booth Cockapoo. She goes, yeah, dishy Dr. Sepp. We know why you're on the live, Booth Cockapoo. Karen from Melbourne, Aline Pot Porter, Kerry Warner, Mandy, there she is from Australia, porcelain photography, Booth Cockapoo, she's so excited. Lila's in the backdrop here, just saying hello. She's off to Cornwall in a minute. Hello from Singapore and Trinny Tribe, New South Wales. We love that chatting. What's that, darling? You need a gift for Pippa. Find something in there and put it in a bag. In that middle drawer, darling. There you go. Yes, there we go. I'm now going to get Dr. Sepp. And we're talking today about stress and particularly about cortisol. I've asked Dr. Sepp if that could be our subject matter, because I'm researching at the moment how stress affects us in our life. Oh, Dr. Sepp, it's been too long.
It was too long, actually, but I'm so happy and can't wait chatting and talking and spending some time with you, and Cockapoo also. Thank you.
And Cockapoo too. And are you back in the clinic? The clinic's fully open now, because I have a friend of mine there right now, Amanda Eliash, who seems to live at VIVAMAYR.
Yeah. Do you want me to make your mouth water a little bit? There's outside the lake and it's great.
Oh
and
my
mountains.
God. Yeah, she's like, yeah. Oh my God. Can we see that view again for a second, Dr. Sepp? We love the view of you, but the view of those mountains is just exquisite. Oh my God,
this
so
is
beautiful. I want to be there so badly.
And the lake owns drinking water quality.
Oh, incredible. That is wow, isn't it, streetwear? Really wow. So we've had lovely discussions during lockdown, Dr. Sepp, and we did, look at just gut health generally as our conversations. If you want to follow that too, that is on an Instagram main feed that we did about a month and a half ago now, I think. Time flies. But I wanted to just talk today, Dr. Sepp, about how stress affects our body and how cortisol affects our body, and generally what we can do, what happens to our body during stress, and how that affects our gut health and everything, and what we can do to counteract it, really.
Wow, it's a big question, but if you allow me, and please, again, stop me and catch me if I'm going too far abroad. Stress is actually a friend. Stress is allowing us to survive challenging and emergency situation. And cortisol I know people are very afraid of it and no one wants to take it, for example, and everyone tries to lower the cortisol level. Look, without cortisol, I would not be able and in a position to open my eyes in the morning. At around 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, the cortisol is produced. And I start to shift from my deep dreams and the colorful paradise and dreams into the reality back on the. And at the end of the day, the cortisol is then going decreasing again and handing over to the melatonin, allowing me to fade from the performance into the recovery and regeneration, into the development.
Yeah.
And without cortisol, life would be horrific. And this is what people do know that are suffering from a burnout. If you're in a burnout, there's no cortisol left anymore. So that's a
Okay. I
devastating
didn't
state.
understand that. I thought it was an overproduction of cortisol, but then I suppose you're producing so much, you burnt out of it.
Exactly. You are the first state of chronic stresses, first state of stresses. Your body is building more cortisol, making you even more awake. Yeah, it's reducing with that all other forms of inflammation going on inside of your body, and is allowing you to experience your brain and your muscles to be maximum blood circulated.
Yeah.
So you have all the force, you have all the creativity to react, to do, perform, to escape out of this state or to overcome the situation. The pity is if you are not going out of that state anymore, your body is experiencing a huge imbalance to the parasympathetic neural state. Yeah, the parasympathetic neural state is the state where we repair, where we nourish ourselves, where we recover and regenerate. And just to perform without recovery, wow, that's making me exhausted.
Yeah.
And this is then when the initial state of stress that is now going to a delay, so a long-lasting state of stress, mainly cortisol dominated, is more and more handing over to another mighty stressor, the adrenaline. And the adrenaline produced by the adrenal glands is then making me really, is making the exhausted warrior believe it is now a matter of life and death. So put all of your last resources of energy and vitality together, perform.
Yeah. And can I just ask you, because I think a lot of people under stress think they lose weight, but I think our body can gain weight through stress as well, can't it? We can hold on to things or...
No, it is, if you are just working with the cortisol, for example, you are initially accelerating your metabolic state. And with this acceleration of metabolism, you are consuming more calories. And consuming and burning of more calories can also lead to a reduction in weight. But this weight very often comes then not so much out of fat burning, but mainly out of sugar burning, or if the sugar is not available anymore, out of muscle burning or burning of filaments that are structural filaments inside of our body.
If this is all, can I just, sorry, I wanted just two housekeeping. If you've just joined us, I'm with Dr. Sepp from the VIVAMAYR clinic, and we're discussing the effect of stress on the body. If you're seeing a lot of comments from Dr. Sepp, if you double click, you will just see the latest comment, and then we can see the whole of your lovely face. So just to say that to people who need to understand that. Tell me something also, when we're getting into this state, is it true that then if there's this over, stimulation of the cortisol, we can't sleep at night then? Because what's happening with our melatonin levels as well, that natural progression of going into a healthy sleep is kind of taken away, isn't it?
Exactly. Cortisol is making me awake. And if cortisol is produced at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, it's nice and my friend. It allows me to start and perform.
Yeah.
If it is still produced in high concentration at 10 o'clock at night, wow, that's kind of a disturbance.
Yeah.
And is still keeping me awake, but awake because of what reason? Yeah. It is keeping me awake because my system is still experiencing stress. At the same time, my system would love to rest. My mind would love to rest, but it cannot because something is keeping me in this stress state. That can be either massive infection, it can be an intoxication, it can be an emotional, also a physical disturbance that is pushing me out of the balance. But the longer this state of stress is existing, the longer the cortisol is keeping high, the more my overall healthy balance in metabolism is suffering. And I start to turn from first a very slim warrior and performer into much more of a depressed and unhappy couch. Yeah.
Okay. And does this, can I ask you, I'm really interested to know, because we have a few women here who are menopausal or going through menopause. Is this exasperated during menopause?
Yes, because you have three main pacemakers, hormonal pacemakers inside of your body. One is your thyroid. The other one are your adrenal glands. And the third one are your ovaries, or the sexual hormone producing organs. During life, it's like you are the captain of an ocean cruise ship. And this boat or the ship is holding three engines. Yeah, all of them are working. If now, going through the hormonal change, nature is asking your sexual hormone production to be reduced a little bit, the captain is noticing that the ship, one of the engines is suddenly going slow or slower. And this is happening now two possibilities of decision. For example, once he's deciding, the captain, okay, look, I want my ship to continue with its cruise, but on the same old speed like before. So I will ask the two other performing engines to perform in higher intensity and duration. What is making them turn hot? Yeah, what is making them perform with more effort?
Going into overdrive. Yeah.
And overdrive is with time then leading to damage or also even to exhaustion. If on the other side, the captain says, of the ship says, look, my engines are changing the way of how they perform, but if I'm changing the overall speed, I will still reach every point that I wish to and every destination I wish to get there without overpacing my other engines. And that
so
would
are
be
you saying then that we should slow down during menopause? Because that's not what I want to do.
No. If your hormonal situation is changing inside of your body, and that's true for men as well as for women, it requires that you need to change your strategies of how you perform and of how you live. That does not mean that you should exclude yourself and retract yourself and remove yourself from your life and your responsibilities. And you should still dream and perform, but maybe either in a different speed, or with a different approach. If you do know things, for example, that are allowing you to rest and to recover, to really gain energy, please, they are getting more and more important that you're really experiencing that. For example, if you notice that the hormonal change is leading you to feel a little bit more tired in the evening, or that things are more of an effort, make more rests and breaks, and you will notice that you will continue doing all of your things, and you finish all of your topics in the perfect quality, but without feeling that exhausted. But if you think, okay, I have to perform like I did perform before, and it will make me feel like before, no, that will never happen.
Yeah. I mean, it is that thing you're saying, Dr. Sepp, of listening to your body. So like, if you're tired, lie down for 10 minutes. It's not like have a sleep the whole afternoon and get into a depression and a slump. It's respecting your body. I think we talk a lot about this, about respecting and listening. You talk so much about listening to your body.
Yes. Or if you are uncertain of what your body is telling you, please start a little bit of a breathing exercise. It can be a yoga move. It can be a Pilates or meditation or a prayer, even if you wish that. Something that is allowing you to focus on a very basic rhythm. And that is allowing you, again, to build a bridge between the spirit and the body, the performing body and the spirit that is concerned about your survival, about your happiness, about your balance that it is experiencing or noticing to be in danger. Whenever there's
I find it so refreshing that you as a doctor talk about your spirit. I know this is, you're learning from your father and taking that traditional medicine and the alternative medicine and combining, but it's so refreshing, Dr. Sepp. Can I touch very quickly on something? This is not for the majority of the audience, but there was a man saying, why do you talk about menopause for men? But I know that male menopause is called andropause, and it is that hormonal imbalance, which we could have a whole other conversation on. But
Yes.
can you just talk for a couple of minutes, just how, because there's a lot of women here who might be looking at their partner and thinking, if they're a man, you know, what's this slump and what can I do to help? And much harder for men to recognize also this sense of a hormonal imbalance and how that affects their life.
That's again a very good question, and I'm struggling always to give the right answers. But in both, in men and women, our progesterone production inside of the body is decreasing the closer, so the more we're going through the hormonal change. Progesterone is not only allowing me to produce the sexual hormones, testosterone and estrogen, and also men are producing estrogen, for example, but it is also important and needed for me to produce cortisol. Cortisol, that hormone that allows me to be awake, and also a hormone that is important for the blood pressure inside of the body and for the balance of water retention or water release through the kidneys. And men, for example, very often experience that suddenly they feel less interested, less awake, and they need more stimulants.
Yeah, that's why they go and buy the red sports car and get a girlfriend.
Exactly.
I mean, it's like, you know, I think so many times there's a lovely, fabulous woman, actually, Dr. Erica Schwartz in New York, who I think you know, but, you know, she talks about, if only I had been able to treat some men and look at their hormone levels before they went off and had the affair or bought the sports car, because that is exactly what you're talking about. And
because we are experiencing this low progesterone and then also this low cortisol with this reduced awakeness, so with this reduced awareness. And we try to substitute that with adrenaline. We are turning into adrenaline junkies.
Yeah.
And that is something that goes on cost first of peace, but very often also on cost of the peace of the family.
Yeah.
Or in the office, we become more risky. We notice that these little excursions on the adrenaline side are not satisfying us long lasting because, again, we need to realize that something has changed inside of our body. But we never, as men, do think that might continue and is normal and physiological. So we try to behave as if it is just an escapade, an episode, and it is not.
So we need to begin, I think, to get the Titanic here and turn it around so it doesn't hit the iceberg. And I just want to know, because it's nice to now look at what are the solutions we can bring into our life, Dr. Sepp, when we're feeling, because I think everyone listening is feeling an element of what we're discussing. It could be they're going through menopause and they're feeling lacking in energy, they're feeling low mentally, you know, I think having to stay at home for quite a few months and have less physical relationships with people really adds to that sense of flatness and depression. And, you know, for younger women too, a woman here is saying, what can be the reasons for younger women not menopausal? It is that sense of stress and your body reaching an adrenal burnout, and you just get flat and you hit a rock bottom. So what are our solutions? And will you start talking to the audience? I'm just going to say goodbye to my daughter once I get to Cornwall, but please, they really want to know.
Thank you. I think question number one, and the most important question, is if you feel low in energy, or limited in your performance, ask yourself first and right away if you do rest enough. Do you get enough rest? Are you able then also, and that is the second question, to nourish yourself in an adequate way? Are you able to receive the energy that you need by eating, for example, the meals? Third is there a reason for this low energy? Is there maybe an inflammation inside of my body? And inflammation can be everything from a painful muscle to a root problem inside of my mouth, a dental root problem, to bacterial overgrowth inside of my intestine, leading to an estrogen dominance that is also then making a woman exhausted. So a young woman, for example, or a young man exhausted. So if you allow me to summarize, if someone is feeling low in energy, ask yourself first, are you resting enough? Is the pace that you live your life making it logical that you feel tired at the end of the day, and after a certain period of time, maybe already tired in the morning? Secondly, are you nourishing yourself in an adequate way? Do you receive what you need, what you metabolize, and what you burn? And third is there inflammation inside of your body? Yeah. If there is inflammation, try to identify that. And fourth is a proper examination done by a physician or by an expert, also keeping in consideration that a potential hormonal imbalance that is not caused just by lifestyle or inflammation, but maybe by another circumstance.
Yeah. I think one very quickly, Dr. Sepp, are you on Facebook or Instagram? If you look at VIVAMAYR, that's the main place where Dr. Sepp hangs out. And I will put a link in at the end of this film.
Thank you.
She's saying she's struggling with a burnout for years. So, I know a lot of people go to VIVAMAYR who are having a burnout, and they have all the tests and they get diagnosed fully. But if people don't have access to that, Dr. Sepp, and they, might have a very nice GP in England who's not necessarily going to be addressing, burnout, flatness. There are some things doctors are great at, and there are some things some people might have a very traditional, and they might just say HRT or might not even do any testing. So, is there some basic testing also that we should be doing? Should we be testing our cortisol levels or our adrenal? Can we do these tests? Is it worth it?
First of all, the initial and the ultimate physical and functional test is, do I feel recovered at the end of my night sleep? Do I feel awake?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that is important. If this is not right, it does not mean that you are ill, but it means it would be worth now to open your senses, for example, trying to find a reason for that.
Yeah.
If then your few adjustments after answering the 4 questions, for example, is not leading to a satisfying result, I would be happy if you, for example, consult us and we meet on a Zoom meeting, for example, or you are meeting one of my colleagues.
Yeah.
Or you are getting in touch with people that are working a lot, for example, with meditation or yoga. Yoga is maybe not for everyone, but yoga is holding so many disciplines, and you will for sure find something that is maybe matching very well with your needs. When you want to test something in your blood and you don't want to invest a lot of money, please. Yeah, and your gynec is, for example, or your urologist is telling you, look, the hormones, so not the hormones, but the skins are looking fine, there are no cysts, etc., no tumors. Check your magnesium, that is number one. Consider maybe to take for a shorter period of time vitamin A, vitamin E, vitamin C, and magnesium. Altogether, that would be great.
Why is magnesium so important for this stress-related sort of flatness and everything that we're discussing?
Yeah, because it is, next to the other vitamins that I mentioned, the most important cofactor for the transformance of cholesterol, of fat, into the steroid hormones, not only like progesterone, but then also cortisol. And again, if I'm feeling stressed out, it is not that my body needs less cortisol, my body needs more rest to then lower the cortisol production. Yeah. The longer the stress lasted, the more I need then the cortisol to keep the confidence that I'm still alive. And this is why if someone is heading for a deep burnout, also in VIVAMAYR, we sometimes treat with a steroid or with a cortisol for a short period of time. If this is not necessary, because the person is not in a deep burnout, we can give and treat and help, most likely then already with the magnesium, with some of the cofactors I mentioned, and fat and rest. And rest can be an active rest as well. It is not necessary to just sit or lay on the couch or in the bed. It is a beautiful way to rest actively if you are walking and circling the lake, for example, or if you're doing a walk in the park, but then not in high intensity, just again to compete and to challenge yourself, but in a low intensity, an intensity that allows you to lose your mind a little bit, So please don't stimulate yourself then with a telephone call at the same time or just with listening to music. Just
Yeah.
try to meditate through physical activity.
It is that sense, I think, what you're talking about. And it's such a simple thing. And kind of in our cortisol releasing adrenaline burnout life, we forget it's that connection with nature. You know, when we were all looking at the beginning of this film, Dr. Sepp, and looking at that lake, and I was just imagining walking around that lake and a light breeze, and even that feeling just calms the body. And this is about calming the body, isn't it?
Yes, you can also, if there's no lake within reach, you can also say and make your meals turn into oases of peace and recovery, but then enjoy them with full awareness. Look at them, smell them, try to find yourself a place where it's silent and cozy, and eat things that you really like and that you enjoy and that are leading you to feel afterwards light on your stomach and energetic. If you just eat a salad because it's so little in calories, and afterwards you are not feeling satisfied, that's then not the best food
Not the
for you.
right thing. I mean, just to give an example, this is so interesting, but I don't know why I did it, but I just thought, let me try some juice cleansing. Because for me, Dr. Sepp, I love to just try everything, because a lot of people talk about things they do. And what I would say is how shit for me juice cleansing was. This is a personal feeling, because I was, you know, you talked a lot about the inflammation at the very beginning, and we can always go back to that inflammation, reducing the sugar levels. You know, juicing has actually got a high content of sugar, but, you know, I was back to my chocolate bars a bit at night, and I wanted that kind of oomph. And I felt dreadful for 3 days, because my body, my particular body, it needs, like, I love a tiny bit of coffee and my little healthy, you know, muffin I have in the morning with lots of nuts and seeds. And my body was just dying and my energy levels were shit. And I know some people love a juice cleanse, and I think bodies are different, but that kind of, you know, you've discussed before that getting a really healthy relationship with food, you know, and just listening to your body, because when people are talking about menopause and not sleeping, and you know, that reliance perhaps on overstimulating foods which are not going to help you sleep at night as well, and make you feel exhausted when you wake up, and women are still saying, how can I not feel exhausted when I wake up? This is the thing we're getting most on our comments here, Dr. Sepp.
It is really, when you are uncertain of what kind of food you should eat, think of what kind of food you received when you were an ill child. It's then not necessary to starve you, absolutely not, but make it very simple. That is double true if you are feeling burnt out or exhausted or tired or fatigued. Guarantee that what you consume is turned with as little effort as possible into energy for you. It is maybe they're not holding all the vitamins and nutrients. That is not necessary. Important is that it is quickly turned into some energy inside of your body. And a piece of chocolate is maybe not the ideal nutrition, but your brain is a sugar burning monster. Your brain and your red blood cells can only work on sugar. Of course, your body is able to build the sugar itself. But if you live an extraordinary life, and if your brain is working extraordinarily, please don't then insist with willpower to ban all the sugar out of your life. You will place your body, the human animal, in a state where it is experiencing that you are not satisfying its needs anymore. I don't want you to get lost on chocolate, so please smell it,
I mean,
let
my
it melt
chocolate
on the
also
tongue.
is a dark chocolate, so I can apologize my chocolate in quantities, and I do try and keep it, you know, dark chocolate and a little bar each night.
Yeah, if you like it, great. If you prefer the milk chocolate, then please have the milk chocolate. If you eat something and that is not, that you say that is a compromise, I don't really appreciate. Why should you waste your time on things you don't like? At least at the end, they need to make you feel good. That is important.
We're still getting this, you know, you know, we talked a little bit, and I just don't know how relevant this is to those people waking up still feeling exhausted. But when we last spoke, you and I talked about intermittent fasting and giving your body time at night to spend the time not processing food, but actually getting on with healing your body so you wake up rested. So how important, Dr. Sepp, is it that we don't eat late at night and we allow this repairing of our body through the night?
I mentioned before that inflammation is a huge trigger for stress. Yeah. Well, actually, we can say inflammation is stress, and stress is causing inflammation inside of the body. Always is. So inflammation means that our immune system, our abilities and tools of repair are demanded. Yeah, they should perform and they have something to do. When are they performing the best? When there's no exchange with the outer world. And then consuming a meal, or for example, interacting with others, that is a massive interaction with the outer world. So if you are in a state of inflammation or stress, hiding in your cave at, let's say, 9 o'clock in the evening, making it yourself a cozy cave or a cozy nest, and you are resting without eating in this situation, you will awake the next day for sure in a better state and already looking forward for some stimulants. The basic thing behind it is your immune system is either a dagger that is protecting you against the outer world, or it is a hammer and a screwdriver making you repair the damage and the traces of life. The longer you allow your body to repair and to regenerate and recover, the better you will perform. And the more you complete, you awaken the next day in the morning. That is a simple thing. Sometimes we are noticing and realizing our state of exhaustion or stress in a moment where simple things like that are not leading initially to a positive result. This is why I would then kindly ask all of your viewers and also you, give it a little bit of a try. Calculate initially in weeks. That is, say, for 1 week I feed myself like my mother was feeding me when I was suffering from a flu. I go to bed a little bit earlier. I enjoy my food, and if I'm not enjoying it, I'm skipping it. I maybe practice intermittent fasting, and I'm insisting on being on a walk for 1.5 hours every day. And I'm insisting also to listening at least to one of my most favorite songs, shaking a little bit once a day.
This just to hold on that, because this is such simple advice, Dr. Sepp, and I think many people, they're all asking questions, and they've consistently found, you know, that they're set in this way of having an uncomfortable sleep, waking up tired, and it's that commitment. And I think commitment to yourself comes with how much you love yourself, you know, because like it's sort of, if you're always down on yourself, you don't give yourself permission to try these things. And I like the fact that you're saying just for a week, I mean, a week of 52 weeks a year, just for that week, practice going to bed earlier, eating at 6:37, just giving yourself half an hour to walk around, even if that's all, you know. There's such small steps, Dr. Sepp, and I love the way you talk about these small steps, because if you talk about you have to do this, this, and this, it's like then I won't do anything.
And please don't forget the music, really. Music and a few steps of fun. And if you prefer, also a little bit of singing to it. That would be great.
We can sing and dance with you anytime. I want to we had some questions earlier. And for those of you who've just joined us, Dr. Sepp has answered so many questions. So for some of the questions I'm not answering now, Dr. Sepp has actually spoken on them. And we will save this onto IGTV. And we will put this out in a couple of weeks, edited on Facebook and YouTube and everywhere. So you will be able. Grace is saying, I danced to Elvis today. And Radette is saying, music is my drug. That's good. The importance of music is just paramount. But Hannah has some general questions. And I'm just very quickly, how many hours before you sleep should you not eat in an ideal world?
You should go to sleep and rest once you feel tired. And if you're really feeling tired, don't eat. If you've had your meal, if you have a meal and you feel afterwards almost narcoleptic, it was that you consumed too much of it or the wrong food. It is then that is not a good sign. But if I'm eating at nighttime, for example, a tiny little thing, and I'm feeling tired afterwards, why not to go for a rest? I know myself, the more stressed I am, the less good I am in digesting foods. Yeah,
Okay.
maybe I need or I would need a lot of nutrients, but I just cannot process the meals in the adequate way. So I improve my state of health then by going to bed earlier and skipping then the meals. Yeah.
So
So,
what time do you have your last meal?
if it is, for example, my super stressful Monday, I have my last meal at 12 o'clock lunchtime, or maybe just in the morning at 8 o'clock, because this day is,
And then
I'm
you don't
busy
eat,
till,
but you're saying you don't eat until the next morning.
yes, because at 8, 9 o'clock in the evening, I'm spit out by the day on my schedule, and I'm feeling tired. I'm feeling deeply tired. And if I'm honest, of course, I deserve now to eat a massive pizza, a beautiful vegetarian meal or dish, or even chocolate, and I could do so. But I experienced it already in the past. If I do so, I will awake next day in the morning feeling less recovered compared
Yeah.
to if I just have a cozy, nice shower or a bath and a little bit of a walk. I'm drinking a glass of water. I'm awaking next day in the morning feeling recovered and, what is a nice thing, hungry. I'm looking forward to have my breakfast now. So my breakfast
Yeah.
turns into a golden moment, yeah, that I start my day with. And that is
It's
a
really
nice thing.
interesting because there's a propensity when you're tired and exhausted to reach for food, for some people to reach for a glass of wine, to reach for some chocolate. You know, that's kind of, we get in that conditioning, Dr. Sepp, I think. And what you're suggesting, you know, I'm quite taken aback that you're suggesting that you haven't eaten all day and then you go to bed. That's kind of quite radical for me to hear, because I'm thinking, where are you feeding the energy from your body? Because are you doing that every day, or you're just saying
No.
one day a week?
No, I'm doing that on the very stressful days. Yeah? I
Okay.
invest in my energy and performance, and I try not to live in a compromise that is going on cost of my vitality in being super performing and super digesting. That is not working. And
Yeah.
again, I just saw one of the questions, for example, that a woman is mentioning, or a gentleman, I don't know, that if he or she is not having a meal within a few hours, he or she is suffering from massive migraine. It can be that your lifestyle put you into a place where your body is not working adequate anymore. And in this situation, please contact one of us, for example. There are normally a few things that you can adjust to bring you back into the place where your body is reacting normal, also almost normal, yeah?
Yeah.
And then where you can start to recover. What I don't do, and I do never do that, I'm a foodie, I never starve. You will never find me starving. But that is not saying that I'm not sometimes doing a fast for 1, 2, maybe 3 days or even longer. But the moment I get hungry, I eat.
So then when people are saying, I would wake up in the middle of the night hungry, or I'm so hungry before I go to bed, because I know for me, I can't sleep, Dr. Sepp,
Yeah.
if I'm hungry. So how is it? I mean, you've done this for a long time, so your body is trained for this intermittent fasting. You know, how do you then deal with that sense of, I'm really hungry at 10 o'clock at night, you know? And is that also, what I really want to ask you is, you know, when you give up smoking, I remember always being told, is it a nicotine
Oh,
withdrawal?
sorry,
Or
sorry, sorry. There's a comment. I will vomit when hungry. I love that because in most cases, hunger is not the absence of calories
yes,
and that I'm low in blood sugar. In most cases, hunger, yeah, or the feeling, the sensation of hunger is nothing else that my body is telling me, look, you are not performing good anymore.
yeah,
And you are not performing good anymore because of a higher state of acidity that was produced by your super long and super busy performing cells. So the environmental conditions are turning into an acid environment. An acid environment is down regulating the performance ability of your cells, and you are getting less you are less good in performing. You are getting
yeah,
feeling tired and low in energy.
yeah,
If in this situation you vomit, for example, or what I personally prefer is the usage of some base powder, for example, or you allow your stomach to build a lot of stomach acid. Yeah, and the
yeah,
stomach acid that is built is produced by shifting acid metabolites from the blood into the stomach. That means out of the body. As
okay,
this happens, your cells are now experiencing an environment that is releasing its acid into the blood, out of the tissue. And the cells are experiencing the environment to change in a beautiful way, and peace is taking place again inside of your body. And you're feeling not hungry anymore,
Yeah.
but good, maybe just tired. And
Yeah.
that's it.
Because I think that what I was saying too is, so when I had like the smoking thing, I couldn't recognize, and they said recognize what's a nicotine withdrawal and what's an actual hunger pang. And I think in a way what you're saying is what you might think is a hunger pang is an over acidity.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, so, and somebody's saying here, you know, always consider also drinking a bit more water, because that could really be made, you know, if you're dehydrated as well. I think your body, I don't know if your body becomes more acidic, but just, it's about that thing you always talk about of recognizing. People are now saying, Pamela's saying, what's the bloody base powder? And people also want to know which magnesium they should use. So can we quickly get on some housekeeping?
Okay. So please enter your kitchen or your restaurant of trust or your supermarket and buy a little bit of baking soda, bicarbonate of soda.
I take that every morning, yeah.
Bicarbonate of soda is not the optimum solution. We composed something in VIVAMAYR, that is our VIVAMAYR base powder, that is containing also a good amount of magnesium and potassium inside. So really not only to alkaline the system, but also nourish it. But important is that you are not having a huge quantity of the bicarbonate of soda, just half a level teaspoon, for example, or a pinch of a knife. And you put it and add it into a little bit of water, and you drink it. And you drink afterwards another 2-3 sips of clear water. And you will notice that your stomach is interacting with it, and you need to burp because the bicarbonate of soda is interacting with the hydrogen chloride, the acid inside of your stomach, and carbon dioxide is produced. Yeah, this is why if someone is taking too much of bicarbonate of soda, you feel or experience your stomach to be like a balloon, and you want to vomit it out because of all the pressure, all the carbon dioxide that is produced.
Yeah.
But if you just have a pinch and you use it, for example, in moments of craving, in moments where you feel suffering from acid reflux, or in moments where you're turning and tossing at nighttime is making you awake, give it a try for 1 week. If this is changing something, trust me, it was because of a higher state of acidity. And if you're wondering what is acid in your life, because you are eating so fantastic things and so alkaline food, look, the most important, most acid in your life is your life. Yeah. If you live your life like a racing horse,
what's the best time to have it? Best time of day? Because I take it in the morning, but not near a meal.
Yeah, I would recommend normally to take it after 6, maybe 7 hours of performance. So that means at 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon, when you already feel, my state of energy is going down. I'm starting to look for excuses to make a break. Look, best thing, of course, would be to make a break and to drink some water.
Yeah.
But if this is not possible, for example, give the base powder a little bit of it a try. To take it in the very first thing in the morning is theoretically a nice idea, but you are taking it then in a moment when you already tried to alkaline yourself through rest for 6 to 8 hours. So it's still maybe beneficial, but it's not having this massive and quickly experienceable effect on your body compared to the intake in the afternoon, for example, or once you feel, again, this craving for something urgent. If you are hungry, eat, please. But if it is not hunger that you experience, but a low in energy, consider maybe that you are either dehydrated or just too acid.
Yeah. Now, I just want to say for people listening that we are saving this, and it will be on IGTV straight away, and then it will come down, and then we'll edit it a bit, and then we will be putting it back up on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. So we'll be there, and we'll let you know when it's there. Very quickly, a few conversations about acid reflux, and, you know, And what very quickly, bicarbonate of soda is not soda water. They're two very different things.
No.
And just to know, bicarbonate soda is what you can get in your kitchen. And it's also called baking soda. Some people, very similar products. The powder that you're talking about, the base powder is a VIVAMAYR product, which contains that and other elements. If people wanted to buy your base powder, can they do that without coming to you?
Yes, of course. Please visit us on our homepage. We have a VIVAMAYR shop, and we deliver to the world.
Worldwide. Fantastic. I think, we're nearly at the end. I mean, Dr. Sepp, I could talk to you all day, and I know that women could listen to you all day, and the men who are on too. And I think we could, I mean, I want to have a conversation with you once a month on stuff because it's so stimulating. It educates me so much. You explain it so well. And I want to thank you for that. And just for everybody else, you didn't join at the beginning. VIVAMAYR is an amazing place that one day I will get to. I have dreamt about it for about 5 years. It's the foremost clinic for alternative health, I would call it, but run by doctors in Austria and on a lake, and where a lot of people go there to just address issues inside their body and to, if you have adrenal burnout, an amazing place to go. But if you cannot get there, follow VIVAMAYR. They've got a cookbook as well. You have your base powders that you sell. And I think the more we have education with you, the more people really far away in the world who would never get to you can learn each time something new that they can consider introducing into their daily life.
I hope so. The recommendations that I can give right now are nothing for the super complex cases, but normally the more complicated everything appears to be in your life, the more simple you should start with the little changes that you are introducing to experience that improvement. I just thought that I forgot to talk about the magnesium. Magnesium is a big topic. Magnesium citrate is normally the one that is bioavailable the best. Please don't, if you buy a magnesium supplement, try to buy it either in form of a powder or in form of a capsule, not as a tablet, because to turn magnesium into a tablet or a dragée, you need emulsifiers, you need baking agents, you need colors and preservatives, and that is not great. If your magnesium citrate is turning into bubbles once you put it into a glass of water, it is a nice idea, but not very well executed. If you're uncertain, forget everything that I just said and have more magnesium. More magnesium. Okay?
I'm going to just also say, I've got this, and I don't know if it's somebody at anything to do with you, but I was just sent this, the VIVAMAYR diet book. I don't know if that is something at all. I think this is somebody who's been to see you, is it? But I feel just in terms of healthy eating, and if people want to kind of consider more healthy eating in their routine, what is the best thing they could read?
Don't read, chew.
Don't read this.
No. Don't read, but chew, please.
Okay, chew. The best thing they can do is chew. But if they want to change what they're eating a little bit, or introduce new things, or learn more, Dr. Sepp.
Of course, we do have several. We do offer several VIVAMAYR books and books written by also my colleague, Dr. Stossier. If you go to Amazon, for example, you will find them. Or even better, visit your book selling store of trust nearby. Go there. They can order it for you. And secondly, you also find other interesting books talking about the Mayr Medicine, modern Mayr Medicine, or you just listen to your grandparents because they will for sure have insisted in you as a child to please chew, don't talk while you're eating, and don't drink too much while you're eating. Don't chew.
Fantastic. Okay, well, God, I really want to come visit so badly. I don't know how I'm going to get there, but one day I'm going to get there. And it was so lovely talking to you. And I'd love to, we can talk again next month. You're going to give us a last view, aren't you? Let's have a last view.
Last view of the lake. The lake is just over there. You go there.
Okay, move around a bit because we're not seeing the lake yet. Let's move around. Show me.
This. 1 second, I have to walk slowly. There is our area. You have the mountain.
Oh, got it. Going around. Oh yeah, I saw the lake on the left. You have to go around to the left to see the lake, I think. Go around the
No,
other
it's
side.
just front 30 meters. It is just that the bushes are now in front of it
Ah.
because we have space.
Lots of people want to come to the clinic with me. I think Booth Cockapoo, we should do a Trinny tribe outing to VIVAMAYR. Actually, I just got to say, I think this is a staggering idea. Can I just say, any really big Trinny tribers? It's also, I know we're going to have to save up for it, but I think it could be amazing. So Brick Girl Always, over from Canada, please. Booth Cockapoo, Blue Eyed Birdie, Rodette. Shall we just make this our mission, and we save up for it, and we make a date, and we do a week there? I'm so into this idea.
That would be very nice, but please be then ready for switching off your cell phones once you are here.
We will, we can do it, and I think I need to do it. So
Okay.
have the most wonderful weekend, Dr. Sepp, and thank you as always for such
Thank you.
fantastic information.
It was a joy. It was a pleasure. Thank you for guiding me. Thank you for the forum. And I hope I didn't confuse too many of you.
No, you're super simple in your explanation. You really make everything very clear.
You know, we Austrians are super simple.
In the best possible way.
Okay.
All right.
Bye-bye. Hope to see you
Bye-bye.
soon.
You
Bye-bye.
too. You too. Oh, I mean, my God, are we just like, I mean, how much do we love this man? Can we just have a little love fest about Dr. Sepp? I hope he's not still watching because I'll be embarrassed. But, you know, it's just, I know, Angela, it's so expensive. It is expensive. To me, it's a once in a lifetime. It's like, I haven't been on holiday. I mean, I went 3 days away, but I haven't been on holiday literally properly for a year. So I think of all the money I've saved by not going on holiday. But I really, you know what, it would give me such incentive if some of you would say, let's do it. And we just do it, you know? So just think about it. And if you think you're up for it, you've got to go on the website and see how much it is. I've got to do that too. But if any of you Trinity tries are up for it, it couldn't be a more enchanting place for us to meet up. So DM me, you know, seriously. We can see the carrot. Can you just go and not pay? No, we all have to pay, I'm afraid. I pay for everything in life, and this would be no exception. But yes, just thinking about it is so uplifting. I do agree with you. And I think that it's just having that feeling, all the things he said, you know, if we make a commitment to each other now, those of you who are still on, of what we can do for the next week, you know, that we can introduce in. And whenever I've had these conversations with Dr. Sepp, he's inspired me, really inspired me to just think, okay, let me do this for myself. And I do think it's about self-love. And I think the less we do for ourselves, the more we dismiss ourselves. And we must stop dismissing ourselves. And for those of you who say consistently you're not sleeping and you know, there's these patterns that aren't getting better, what are you actually feeding yourself with? And I don't just mean food, I mean metaphorically. What are you feeding yourself with? Are you doing any of these things that Dr. Sepp is suggesting? Are you going for a walk? Are you listening to some music? Are you chewing your food? Are you giving your body a break when you sleep? And, you know, if those of you think, I'll wake up really hungry, I think our body gets into a rhythm. And if we treat it respectfully, it won't then say, I'm hungry, when in fact it knows it needs to sleep and repair. And I'm going to go and listen back and back to Dr. Sepp. He said so much today. But thank you all for being such an amazing audience too, and listening to him. And you can hear a snuffling noise. Actually, my door keeps opening and closing. I haven't got a pig in the room. It's sad. But yes, anyway, and have a wonderful weekend, everyone. I've so enjoyed this. It's made me feel very calm, just listening to him. But I hope it does done it for you too. And we'll catch up soon. Bye-bye.